Love these guys.
We can finally have Trump Vivek. I like that, right? It's going to work this time.
The comedians in the jeans. I like that.
Right.
That's good. Cousins of genetics. Good stuff, guys.
Guys, let's just roll.
Wait, can we talk about Christmas?
I was going to say, yeah.
Can we talk about Christmas? So my father gets the White House, right? He gets there. And they keep on calling the tree on the south lawn of the White House, they keep on calling it a holiday tree. And he goes, guys, why are you calling it a holiday tree? Like, does it have lights on it? They're like, yes. Does it have the fake snow on it? Yes. He's like, it's a damn Christmas tree. Call it a Christmas tree.
Thank you.
This is a Christmas tree. We're going to call it a Christmas tree. So Trump saved Christmas in Home Alone, but he also saved Christmas in Washington.
That's so funny.
So thank you, Donald Trump.
We're going to call it Christmas again. We're going to say Merry Christmas again. I remember when it was illegal. Thank God we can say it again.
It's like he left Joe Biden home alone now in the White House, roaming around not knowing what the hell to do, you know?
Joe Biden's very Marvin Harry in the White House by himself, electrocuting himself.
Well, Home Alone had that old kind of senile guy, right?
Oh, yeah, that guy, yeah. Joe Biden with the bag of salt.
That guy ended up becoming a nice guy because I think he met Kevin McAllister in church, didn't he?
But if Joe Biden was that guy, he'd sniff Kevin McAllister.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And the wet bandits.
Vivek is on stage soon. Vivek's going to speak tonight. Give us a preview. Give us a preview of your primetime speech, Vivek.
So I think a big theme of this week has been national unity. And our side cares about national unity, but not in some fake AstroTurf way. Right? Not some fake kind of national unity, but the actual real thing. That we could disagree like hell with each other, but still have dinner at the end of it. One of the things I love about Donald Trump, actually, a lot of people even in our movement may not have full visibility. I mean, you have, obviously, visibility into this. I've gotten to know him over the last 6 months. He's open. He'll have the conversation. You know what? I may disagree with about 99 things, but if there's one thing that I can work with you on to actually get something done for the country, I'm going to do that. He's pragmatist while also having ideals. And so that's going to be the theme of my speech tonight. Not fake unity, but real unity. And, you know, I'm not very good at giving scripted speeches, so we'll see how good I am at sticking to the preordained speech, but that's going to be the theme of it, and I'm looking forward to it.
Do you still believe it's going to be Michelle Obama?
I think it's highly likely. Because you don't think about this. So every point of the debate, I said this, last year we were talking about this, but the debate, obviously the debate was a disaster. I actually think the bigger change was in the last few days. Where if you think about this, Biden's now at a fork in the road, right? He, on one hand, has a histrionic message that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, but he himself says we got to tone down the rhetoric, in which case he has no message left. So I think that actually makes for the most compelling case that they're going to have to replace him. Is the man literally, it's not just his cognitive deficit, it's his message deficit. He has no vision or message left, which means they can't go with Kamala because she also has a cognitive deficit issue. But she has an identity politic poison pill. In the corporate world, you call that a poison pill. You can't get rid of the guy because she's the poison pill. Who's the one person that gets around that? They're going to take one shot. It's going to be the best shot they can take. And I think it's going to be likely Michelle Obama. And they're waiting for this convention to play out, which is why I think complacency on our side is not an option. Right? They want all the festivities to be behind them. Wait till next month. And I predict they're going to take their best shot, but it doesn't matter. Because at this point, look at Donald Trump, the images of your father last Saturday coming out of that. That's not the stuff of elections. That's the stuff of centuries that our grandchildren will be reading about. You don't lose elections on the back of that, so you do your job. We're going to win regardless of what happens here.
I have a really important question for Eric. Eric, are you a little bit sad that you don't get to see Vivek debate Kamala Harris for VP?
Oh, by the way, I am. I am. By the way, Kamala was given two tasks, right? She was put in charge of AI. And as I always say, I don't think Kamala could spell AI.
Yes, that's right.
There we go.
And then second of all, she's put in charge of being the border czar. And what is the first thing that Kamala does when she's put in charge of being the border czar? She goes to Vietnam. I kid you not. So yes, I would love to see my man right here, my running mate in 2032. I would love to see him date Kamala. I mean,
You heard it here first.
It's sad. Guys, we got to get this country back, and Donald Trump will. Honestly, you saw the fight. When he's bleeding from the side of the ear, side of the face, and he comes out saying, I want to... His life would have been so much better not being in politics. And he wants to fight for this country. And honestly, it's going to be so much fun to watch term number 2. He knows where all the skeletons are buried. He knows where all the crooks in Washington, D.C. is. They have tortured him for years. He will take great pride in firing every single one of them. And that's exactly what we need. And by the way, I have more respect for this man than anybody. I hope he takes the biggest position in Washington, D.C. Because if there's ever somebody who will go in there and clean out an agency and rid them of the corruption and of the nonsense, it's Vivek, and he would have my full support, believe me.
I don't want to speak. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but what I've heard whispered is that Vivek would be excellent for DHS, which would put him in charge of the Secret Service.
Yeah, well, they unfortunately they keep setting a really low bar for everybody to clear here. I'll say this one thing on the point Eric made, though. We talk a lot about the mass deportations of millions of illegals from the country, and we're all in favor of that. But we also need to mass deport millions of those federal bureaucrats out of Washington, D.C. That is the second mass deportation that's going to save this country. And let's have some real talk, right? Because even in the primary, one of the questions you'll get is, well, why didn't Donald Trump do that in the first term? Here's an answer to that question. The Supreme Court only paved the way in the last 2 years. So in 2017, Trump actually did not have the toolkit to actually gut that actual bureaucracy, to go in and drain the swamp. There were legal obstacles that now don't exist. So I think this is a once-in-a-century opportunity to save the country, get rid of the managerial bureaucracy, and actually create a constitutional republic that our founding fathers envisioned, and Donald Trump's going to be the man to do it.
Can I mention one thing on that? Yeah. I want everybody to know, and Vivek just touched on this, but the numbers are aligned. You see the employment numbers in this country, right? And they go up 200,000 a month, and people are like, oh, okay, those are okay numbers. 60% of all jobs created in this country in the last 4 years have been government jobs, roughly 1.6 million, right? Those aren't people that are paying taxes. Those are people that your taxes are paying for. Yet no one wants to come out because the media is dishonest. No one wants to come out and actually break down those job numbers and tell you that those are actually half the jobs that are in there, over half the jobs that are in there. Your taxpayer, right? The 87,000 IRS agents, but across the federal government and across local and state governments, it's about 1.6 million. That's how augmented our government has gotten, and it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. We need less government, a whole lot less government, not more.
And yeah, I want everybody. We've got a good audience here. Let's just take a pulse on this. All right. It's going to be clunky. It's going to be a little clunky.
I do want to tell, before you do this, I do want to tell our viewers, because we have tens of thousands,
we're looking the wrong way.
Hundreds of thousands watching right now. The reason why we're kind of in the round here is very Shakespearean. There's an incredible audience all around. So I don't mean to be rude to you, hundreds of thousands of people watching. We're just not talking to the people.
They're with us. We're bringing them in here. We like them all. Come on over tomorrow night.
If we can do the widest shot possible, thank you. Here we go.
You're good. Yeah, I like Benny. He's got the inner producer in him while he's still in front of the camera. I like that.
Go.
Sleep out. That's good. That's smart.
From Vivek.
That's smart. No, so this is serious too, because push comes to shove. We'll say we're going to shut down the deep state, but are there going to be some little inconveniences from time to time, small things here and there? Sure. You get rid of millions of federal bureaucrats, get rid of agencies, streamline the government. The question is, are we ready for it? So some people say, hey, just go in there. Reform the federal government. Who wants to reform the bureaucracy? Okay, some of you. Now my question is, who wants to get in there and actually shut it down?
Yeah!
Because that's what we're talking about.
By the way,
get ready for that.
The same people that wanted to reform it are actually voting to shut it
Shut
down.
it down, right, exactly.
I'm not sure if you realize that B was going to be
down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. That's what Donald Trump's got to get in there and get done. Let's get him in office so he can do it.
Man, who's ready for this? This is a little looking forward. These guys got some energy. These guys got some dynamics. Okay, so I have a question for you, Eric, because of something that Vivek said yesterday. And he went thermonuclear viral with it. It was your first comments from the RNC. You said Donald Trump is our modern-day President Abraham Lincoln. He is the modern incarnation. Can you expound on that, Eric? Do you agree?
Look, I mean, Abraham Lincoln, he was the first Republican. And it was actually at this convention, it was the equivalent of this convention, where he first gave his speech that a house divided cannot stand. And I don't want to, you're going to go into the gory detail of this, but they called him a dictator. They called him a tyrant. They called him a traitor. I'm not making this stuff up. You can't make this up. They said that he would make a laughing stock of America on the global stage, and they said that it would be the end of the United States of America as they know it. That was the Democrat-led media.
They're using the same talking point.
That's right. And it was the Democrat-led media about Abraham Lincoln. And the sad part is it was shortly after that John Wilkes Booth put a bullet in his head. I think Donald Trump was given by divine providence the chance that Abraham Lincoln did not have to reunite this country for the next 160 years. And it's up to us to take that chance and to actually make what is true out of it. This country doesn't have to be on our way down, right? We don't have to be this nation in decline. I think it is what we choose it to be. I think we can still have a nation in our ascent. And I think you're going to hear Donald Trump on Thursday night. I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say. That's the nation in decline. That's right.
Democrats are after him as well.
That's right. Fight! Fight! And that's what we're going to do. And that's what we're going to do.
Final thoughts on that? You can stay as long as you want, of course, Eric.
You know, there's never been anybody who's created a movement like this. And this is a movement of love, right? You know, politicians don't create movements like this. Politicians don't have people transcend from every aspect of a state to a rally to sit there for 24 hours to wait in long lines. It's a movement of love. And it's a movement of love for this country and for our nation. And people are sick and tired of getting ripped off and used, you know, in a country that's degraded, in a flag that's disrespected, in a God and religion that is disrespected, in a constitution that is 100% under fire. 100%. The things that we love, the things that we believe in, our core values, our family, our kids, all of those things have been disrespected and used and abused, and people have been lied to, and they call them the flyover states for a reason. People are taken for granted in this country, and they want America back, and they see the one guy who did not need to do this. His life would be better elsewhere, believe me. He didn't need to do this. As a family, we didn't need to do that. And that has bred love. This isn't political affiliation. This is love. It's heart. It's soul. And I promise you, that movement will live on. That movement will live on forever.
Yes.
Amen.
We love you guys. Truly, on behalf of the entire family, we love you guys to death, and I appreciate you. We love you. We love this goofy bastard. There's no other Benny. There's no other Benny.
Eric, after that speech, I think you've officially earned it. You can do a mic drop. There you go, Eric. Thank you, Eric. You're my man. Eric Trump, everyone.
Good seeing you. I'll out with you. Good seeing you. Yeah. Good seeing you, brother. Good seeing you, man. Thank you.
Good luck. Big one, Swami, everyone.